FM. Tonight, I have a first timer in the studio. Record will show that he's one of the youngest member of parliament ever to be elected in the modern day Bahamas. He's in studio with me tonight, Mr. Travis Robertson. Boy, listen, when you start out, you inspire plenty. I might start getting the show by starting out by stating that you inspire plenty persons to take a look at politics when you won and begin to choice the halls of parliament in the Bahamas. But he's so young, man, and this and that. What age were you when you went in 2017?
I got ratified. Sorry, let me just say good evening to your listening. Good evening, listening audience. Good evening, Bahamas. I got ratified by the FNM at the age of 21, and I got elected at 22.
Okay, you got ratified at 21. So, has anyone else ever been there? See that age? No.
No, I was
So
the youngest
history should have used
Bahamas and the
they ever
Caribbean.
walked across.
Yeah.
And must begin the show by asking you, are you planning to run the next election?
I do intend. Well, I'm now officially ratified.
You ratified
for the Fort Charlotte constituency.
So you win the Town and Grand Town over 1,000 votes. You beat Dr. Knowledge. So why you want to run back now?
Well, first of all, let me again express my thanks and gratitude to the people of being in Grandstown. I think we've done some stellar work together, and I know that work will continue. But Tinker, when I came into politics, I came in for service to people.
Mm-hmm.
It was never about any particular constituency specifically. It was about service to people. I started out as a young community activist at first, and then I went into big frontline politics. And so my belief is that service to people anywhere, service to people everywhere. So whether it's in Town or whether it's in Fort Charlotte or Kalani or even in a Family Island, I believe that my service and my representation will remain what it is. So I'm not wedded to a particular constituency. Right. I'm wedded to service to the Bahamian people.
Right. Well, that's good. I mean, but if you could win and then go and win in Fort Charlotte, then you could, that's good. Yeah. Then you could even switch sides, but it's a PLP.
When the switching side is where I draw the line. Let me just...
You got some places who in the FNM who won PLP and one is FNM.
Precisely.
Right,
well,
right.
Yeah, and then you got a perfect example, Vaughn Miller, who was with the FNM one and then gone to PLP and so on.
Renwood Wells, I think Renwood Wells.
Renwood Wells with the PLP
he
and
ran
came to
PLP and
the
runs the FNM and win.
Yeah. And similarly...
Former Prime Minister, right on what Hubert Alexander Ingram, he won as a PLP. He was a cabinet minister in the PLP. And then he gone to the FNM and he won as FNM and then become Prime Minister.
Absolutely.
As FNM.
Yes, sir.
So that's, it happens sometimes. You have persons who run one party and then run as independent and won. But the former Prime Minister, right on with Hubert Alexander Ingram, and the former Prime Minister, right on with Perry Gladstone, well, not Perry Gladstone, Christie. But Hubert Alexander Ingram run as an independent, he run as a PLP, and he run as FNM. Because in 1987, he run as independent. Former Prime Minister also run as independent, but he never run as FNM.
Correct.
I know the FNM had wanted Mr. Christie to lead them, but he never run as a FNM. He won as a PLP and independent. The former Prime Minister, right on with Hubert Alexander Ingram, he run as PLP. He won as PLP, he won as FNM, and he won as independent.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
And you now go in history as the youngest 21. I don't think the one can ever beat that. I mean, it'd be hard for someone to beat 21.
21, yeah.
Yeah, ratified at 21, but not 22. I think
correct. Because the Constitution says that you have to be 21 or older in order to run for
so in history, that'll change.
Yeah. So you got to know about it.
But based on the political propaganda or political social media stating that you'll be running against a great giant, based on what I understand. I mean, he hasn't been ratified, so it's not confirmed, but it's just rumors that he would be running Sebastian. They say that he will be in the north. Just social media. It's nothing confirmed by the PLP organization. But if he's ratified, or are you campaigning based on Alfred Sales, or you campaigning whoever they bring?
I'm campaigning based upon the needs of the people of Fort Charlotte. I've been on the ground now in Fort Charlotte for some 3.5 years. Yes, sir. Knocking on the doors.
Also, you had this plan long time.
Yeah, I transitioned from 3.5 years ago.
So you live in the Fort Charlotte area?
I am now making a transition into Fort Charlotte.
Okay, that's good. That's good. And before we came on the air, I asked you what you were doing. You said you were a pilot now.
That's correct.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I'm proud of you.
Yeah, you know, I've been brought up from a struggle, living in Baintown, didn't have much, you know, living in a one-bedroom home, 7 of us, slept on the floor for most of my life. First time I slept in the bed, I was in grade 7. I got adopted by my 7th grade homeroom teacher. She showed me the finer things in life and, you know, a commitment to education and continuing to develop myself and, you know, going through politics and then back to school and flight school. It's just a commitment to service. And the same thing that was afforded to me, I'm in politics now because I want to fight for other young people coming behind me. To have
You
those
did it. You
opportunities.
had, I must say that you had inspired many young persons because, you know, when they found out your age and then you was ratified and then you would win and then you went to House Assembly and then you became, I think you were Parliamentary Secretary. Is that
Parliamentary Secretary for Tourism and Aviation.
Tourism and Aviation. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, that's good.
yes,
And
yes.
I must ask you, how would you explain your first election as a member of Parliament at the age 22 and going to Assembly? I was given an opportunity to debate on issues that affects the persons who in your constituency. How you felt being so young and have to carry such a task to the people's house where the laws and rules are made to govern the people that you choose to serve.
Well, I mean, let me just say for the record, you know, at first there was an apprehension going in there with all these senior men and senior women, politicians ahead of me, and it's like, oh boy, you have this heavy task on your shoulder, and then quickly you realize, well, gee, they're not much advanced than you thought they really were. And so you realize that you're just as equally as smart and as talented and educated, just like all of them who are maybe twice or 3 times my senior. So for me, I was really focused on trying to get my community up and running. What were the policies? What were the plans? And that's how we started to drive the Over the Hill initiatives. Different policies in terms of the VAT-free concessions. Those type of initiatives is what I put my head down and focus on and assist with writing those policies and documents and legislation.
And I must tell you that I honestly felt that was a great idea that your government, that you and your government initiative that you all tried to implement it over the hill. It was VAT-free and incentives for persons who were billing, who's going to develop in the area and those hard knock areas. I think it was a great idea at the time.
Yeah.
I don't think it gets sufficient or enough support
Yeah.
so they can continue. I think it was a great idea, I must tell you that. And in 2018
Mhm.
is when you had some problem with the issue with voting for the increase of the water. What was the issue that when you said your vote was for sale? And you made that statement that your vote was for sale. Was that in reference to the same issue?
And that's correct. So in 2018, we brought a bill during the budget debate. There was an amendment to increase VAT to 12%. And so obviously, like I tell you, I mean, I came from a young community activist standpoint. So I believe in people voices, people opinion. And so I went back to my constituency in Baintown. I had a town hall meeting for Cork Primary. And then I proposed to them, hey, listen, this is what the government is bringing. And they expect that I will vote yes to increase VAT from my cent up to 12%. And so I took a vote at the town hall meeting, and it was unanimous. Every single body voted no. And if I remember correctly, the vote was 284 to 0. Everybody said no. So I was duty bound as a member of parliament by the people to go and represent their wishes.
But you know, for years, I've been on the radio for some 14 years, and for years, while I chat on the radio, I always state that constituencies office should be run just like that. When you, as you are representative of the or member of parliament for an area, you should carry the bills to your constituents. I mean, party politics in this country is set up as a detriment to the ordinary citizens in this country. And I, for years, I said, how is it that members of parliament can stand out assembly and say, oh, I vote in support of a bill when they don't live in the constituency? Because the law don't make it mandatory that you must live in the area that you represent or you choose to represent. You could be living a life at Key and still represent people in Maintown. But you must be living there for 6 months and able to vote. But you could represent me who have to be living there for 6 months, but you don't have to be living there. Which is a disgrace. And something like that, laws like that should be changed. And I don't think it's in the best interest of the ordinary citizens in this country, number one. Number two, how is it that persons can stand up, and I hear them, I stand on behalf of the good people of Marathon, and I vote yes to support it, but people in Marathon don't even have a chance to even say yes or no. If you hold a meeting as a member of parliament, right? If you hold a meeting as a member of parliament in your constituency, and only 284 persons come, and you represent 5,000, being down is a big constituency,
Yes.
right? If you represent 5,000, the 284 persons who concerned and who feel that the politics of that country could affect them or is affecting them. So if you take the percentage from those who appear.
Absolutely.
And I think I said for years I trod that same mindset, and I never even hear that you did that before.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep, so I mean, and while it may be 284 votes, that's individually, but when you spread them out from all of the hundreds more households they came from,
right,
it expands more. So
yeah, I
you're
know,
looking at
but
least-
see, that premise didn't start lately. Because if you remember, when the Free National Movement brought that detrimented bill, when they was going to sell Patelco, the former Prime Minister, Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Ingram, asked members of parliament to go in the constituency and second the views of your constituents, right? Only two get to do it, you know. And they didn't get a chance to take the vote. That's how bad if you carry on.
Yeah.
And the other rest of members of parliament stopped. They ain't going at it because they know that the Bahamian people didn't want it. And they still gone and vote yes. And they lost the election.
Yeah.
Because they didn't never told the views of the Bahamian people or their constituents. And they go and vote yes to sell Patelco when they ain't build Patelco. They ain't own Patelco. But I said be the member of parliament because the former Prime Minister, Ronald Ingram, his mind that he wants to sell Patelco, they had to play them fall in line because they don't want to lose whatever privilege, whatever incentives and things that they have. So they voted yes against the wishes of the members of parliament. All of them lost. And so that's a good idea what you did. And I always admire that particular idea because plenty of things can happen in this country for the ordinary citizen if we continue with that mindset. So that's like what you started is a good thing. I mean, ain't the first, but it's a good thing because I told me Ben Carl Bell, I never forget this. I think Dion Folks or Carl Bell, I think Dion Folks. One of them had it up there by the school on C.W. Sanders Highway. And the people started making noise saying no before they even started meeting. And they had the next one, I don't know, they came on so bad they had to stop the meeting. And they had the next one, who I think it's Brandon McCartney. Brandon McCartney carried a vote for Bamboo Town. They tell him no, and he voted no. But the former Prime Minister had made some statements stating that whoever votes no against the sale, and Brandon McCartney ended up starting his own party because he said he couldn't support it. And in the past, we had members of parliament who take the stance like you. Like I think Carlton Francis, he was against gambling, and he didn't support bringing casino or something in the country. And he take a stand, he ended up out of the realm of politics as a result because of his conviction. And based on the Westminster system, when a member of parliament don't support something, he's supposed to step down. It's his job to step down and let that privilege and opportunities go. But he hasn't been much man and woman. I mean, make stands like you and Michael Pine is the one who I think him and you was the one who.
It was four of us.
Four of you.
Yeah.
Who four of us?
Myself, Michael Pine, Vaughn Miller, and Reese Chipman.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. Reese Chipman, Vaughn Miller, and you were parliamentary secretary, Minister of Tourism at the time.
Tourism and Aviation.
Who's the Minister of Tourism at the time?
D. Aguilar.
Oh, the Aguilar. Yes, Minister. And the government never bring you back into the fold.
Yes, I did return in 2020. So I was terminated for 1 year, and then the pandemic came, and then we needed all hands on deck. And so then Prime Minister Minnis reached out to me and said, listen, Travis, we need all hands on deck. The tourism industry, obviously being the number one industry in our country.
The only industry.
Exactly. And so we suffered a tremendous blow. You know, travel was down because of lockdowns and curfews around the world and all that was coming on. So I was invited back to be reappointed. I accepted because, like I say, I came into politics to serve. So whenever I'm offered the opportunity to serve, I will jump for it. And so he invited me back. I accepted, and I continued where I left off.
So did you still hold that against Dr. Minnis for that 1 year you missed?
No, not to this day. I have never held it against ability as Prime Minister, and I had my responsibility as Member of Parliament. People on the rally stage on Christmas election season, and I said I will stand up and I will fight for you, and I will not allow my personal desires and ambition to cloud my judgment when you need me most. And it was during that time they needed me most.
Yeah, because I mean, the decisions you made, I think that later on it benefits you as a result of history. Because ain't much man and woman can stand on their feet and go with their conviction, even if it's not normal or with the crowd going or and history should get you. Because I really admire people have that ability to do that. The principle where when you die, you will not carry anything. Mm-hmm. Right? So when you could stand up and you would understand life and the principle of some things, then you got a call online already? Brian the Better Nigga.
Independent Digger.
You're live.
You're live.
Yes, sir.
Good night, Mr. Robinson. How you do, sir?
Good night. I'm very well, sir.
Good. I heard you saying that you went to your people in being in grandstand when they wanted to do the increase on the VAT.
Right, and he was expelled there. He was expelled.
He still stepped back and gone back behind. Kept up with Dr.
For 1 year. For 1 year.
Yeah, but he still went back.
Yeah, he went back because they appointed him. They asked him to continuously to serve because the country is at a time when the pandemic, and I rode and videotaped Bay Street, and not even rappers on Bay Street because there was no food on Bay Street.
Well, what I'm saying is, so what was with Vaughn Miller and Reese Chipman and those? They never went back.
No, they maybe never offered the opportunity to go back.
Oh, so he was offered?
He was offered the opportunity to be reappointed as a parliamentary secretary. Yes, he said that.
No,
okay.
He said,
Well,
he said he was asked to come back. Yeah.
Brother Robertson.
Yes, sir.
You're more from being in grandstand. That kind of bothered some people in my inner circle, in my circle.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like you were doing a good job in being in grandstand, even though you had lost in the last election. Mm-hmm. I think your fate in being in grandstand would have hold you firm. You're part of being in grandstand. You being in grandstand.
Yes.
I know you were being in grandstand. That's what I'm saying. I was very much surprised when I heard that you decided that you wanted to go in for a challenge. Now, with me being a political savvy person,
mm-hmm.
I said something at a breakfast table and they laughed at me, spiritual advisor. I said, this young man will go down in the history book to knock out two big giants at the PLD. I say, now this man do this, in the world he can miss being leader of the of the FNM. You can't miss it.
Oh boy.
Yeah?
He had gone up against Says.
No. He never went against Says. He went against Dr. Bernard Norwich.
Yes, I'm saying, but if he did go up against Says in this election,
No, but he's running in for Charlie already being nominated.
yes, but I'm saying, but Says is not running no longer.
No, as far as the grapevine is saying.
Okay, but Mr. Says said himself he's no longer interested.
Okay.
I'm saying if Mr. Says had stayed around, and for some strange reason, he just had come up and beat Mr. Says.
Mm.
You know that would have put him in the history of politics in the Bahamas?
Yeah, but I mean, when usually I must well tell you, plenty giants get beat. The former Prime Minister, Right Honorable Perry Glasgow Christie, get beat by Reese Chipman, and he get beat. Because when the tide coming, my brother, when the tide comes, plenty things get washed ashore, eh?
But Travis, sorry, the Honorable Travis Robinson, he wasn't could swim good. Because he stay in the tide and he swim his way through.
Yeah, he did well. I think he did well. And he did well. I think he did well by being elected. By being elected
Chairman
22.
of the FNM now?
I'm the deputy chair.
Deputy chair, he's holding big positions.
Yeah, but I don't blame him. The sky is the limit in this country. People want you rest things in their lap. You gotta go and work for it. If you prepare yourself, success coming. Huh?
Independent thinking is
Yes, sir.
but seeing. Mr. Alfred says, I don't see it happening.
What?
I didn't see Dr. Minnis beating Mr. Christie neither.
No. The election ain't going down like that.
Let me go
The Bahamian people ain't vote for Dr. Minnis,
No.
Dr. Minnis and his crew end up with the government, bro. They end up, listen to me, man. Hold on. Listen to me. The Bahamian people end up with the FNM and Dr. Minnis. The Bahamian people didn't vote for them. They voted against Mr. Christie. People was tired of Mr. Christie, the former prime minister, called by time. The Bahamian people was tired of the former prime minister, Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Ingram, and we end up with the former prime minister, Right Honorable Perry Glasgow Christie.
This would be the first
The Bahamian people was tired of the Right Honorable Perry Glasgow Christie, and we end up with the former prime minister, Hubert Alexander Minnis. People ain't vote for them.
Let me say this. It took Dr. Minnis almost 5 weeks. Almost 5 weeks after the election to realize that he was the prime. He still couldn't believe he was the prime minister.
No, because in my humble opinion, Dr. Minnis never did anything special to show that the people that he deserved to be prime minister.
He had to. People had to say, but he was the prime minister.
I'll tell you, listen to me, in my humble opinion, what I thought and how I thought it happened. Some persons who had the greatest influence in politics in this country,
Yeah.
in my humble opinion, look through the ranks and file of the FNM and realize that the weakest person in the Free National Movement at the time was the Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Minnis. Right? As a result, they had to pick the weakest person to run against the former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Perry Glasgow Christie, to make sure, give him the best opportunity to win. As a result of people tired of the former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Ingram, the former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Perry Glasgow Christie, those two former law partners, as a result, being tired of them, that's how we end up with the former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Perry Hubert Alexander Minnis.
Listen to me. Two
Go
more
ahead.
things and I go on. One.
Yeah.
This will be the first time since 1997 that they vote in a government. They're going to vote the PLP back in. They're going to vote them back in.
In 1997?
They voted the FNM in 1997. After the 1992 election, they voted Mr. Ingram back in 1997.
So what you're saying now, caller, is that
They're going to vote Mr. Davis back in.
in the power as Prime Minister.
Yeah, they're going to vote him back in. You know if I'm
Because before you hang up, but you just telling people why you, in your humble opinion, believe, right, that the people is going to put the PLP back. What do you think? Give me 3 things that you think that the people, the reasons why they will do that.
One, the government is now doing some things. I ain't talking about building a horse building. different kind of things. The government is now bringing in. They always say that Mr. Davis. One time ago they say he couldn't travel. Now they say he's traveling too much. But every time.
Yeah, that's an oxymoron. That's a good one. That's a good one. I'm glad you said that.
Davis goes
Right.
and come back. Watch 3 weeks, 3 months later, some investment come. Somebody come to check on something. Somebody come to do something.
And before you go to the next one, I must add this before you go to that's a great point you bring up. And we ain't giving out. I noticed that I don't know if they're hiding the document, but we isn't being given out all that land. Like how the former Prime Minister, Right Honorable Yubel Alexander Ingram, the former Prime Minister, Right Honorable Perry Gladstone Christie, and the former Prime Minister, Right Honorable Yubel Alexander Minnis, we give out so much land to foreigners. Like we buying them, or we buying them to invest. Like, you know, when you give people so much incentives and concession, like you buying them, you force them to say, "Man, listen, I get all this, I might still invest." Right?
Listen to me.
We ain't doing that now. I think plenty things have changed in reference to that particular matter.
You're talking about land. If the PLP had only built one house, they'd have built 100% more houses than the F&M built. The F&M ain't built a dollar.
Now you must be fair to the F&M now. The F&M is a party. The F&M is a party they
The
did.
F&M built.
No, they didn't build none, but I'm saying to you, you know the F&M is a party that don't really bother too much with building houses.
They keep saying they need, so I said they can't think of building houses now.
No, because you have a different leader. You have a leader in the name of you have a leader. Listen, you have a leader in the name of Honorable Michael C. Pintard.
Yeah, so he built some houses there.
That's what he's saying. You know, I can go what he's saying. I mean, I can't take him by his
Let me
word.
finish and let me go off this end because I know I've been on a little while. Brother Robinson, you're going to have a hard hill to climb.
Which hill that is?
This election will be about some money.
Oh, that's what it is? That's all elections will be about money.
It has to be.
Because you remember in 2007, the F&M is getting tennis at the rally.
Tennis?
Yeah, man. You remember when the former Prime Minister, Right Honorable Yubel Alexander Ingram,
They got to give up tennis and sweatsuit.
remember when the former Prime Minister, Right Honorable Perry Christie said that he said if she show a copy of the check for $1 million was to get ready a couple of days before the election, or day before election.
For tennis?
Well, the check was there. He showed it on the stage.
Well, I hear it's alleged that the aspiring candidate for the PLB was giving people voucher to go to Clark's to get yours.
A PLP candidate? Which one that is?
Aspiring candidate.
Oh, expired. Okay, well, you might call it the V only expired.
Buying Nike tennis and
And the politics in this country, ain't even really possible.
No bamboo shark knapsack and this is my spending some money.
Okay, well, if you say election be about money, but plenty of payments in this country need it. And plenty of payments in this country.
Not plenty people, we need it.
We?
Right now,
I can take my first commercial break.
I need $28,000 to do an eye surgery.
You need, and the PLP, listen,
Colombia.
let me, why you want to go Colombia? And I got friends right now, caller. I got friends right now who went to Cuba on the program that the PLP, I don't understand why the PLP doing such a bad job and disseminating the information. Plenty persons going to Cuba on that program they have. They just go on Bahamas Air free. They just live in the hotel free. They just see the doctor free. And plenty persons get the cataract and thing of the eye and all. They got a program right now, caller, where you can go Cuba and how eye surgery, eye checks, eye dealt with in Cuba right now. A program that the PLB has instituted says it became in office. But I take my first commercial break. It's Primetime with Independent Thinker. I'm sitting in the studio with the former Member of Parliament for Bain and Grandstown, Mr. Travis Robinson. He made a statement some time ago where he stated that it appears that the Westminster system is choking the life out of a democracy. We'll find out what he meant and why he said that when it was said after the break. Good evening, we're back live with Great School 1197. Inside with me, the former member of parliament of Bain and Grandstand, Travis Robertson. Going into the break, I asked him a question, that a statement that was made some time ago when he was a member of parliament, that the Westminster system is choking the life out of democracy. It's a statement, that a quote that he uttered. And I want to find out why was that said and what was done, in his humble opinion, to correct that at a time when he had power.
Thank you, Tinker. I just wanted to say back to the previous caller, as I listened to his commentary, just want to correct one thing. He said that the FNM never built one house. He's probably referring that the Minnis administration never built a house, because the FNM have a history under Branzil role as former Minister of Housing of building many a subdivision in this country. Under Ingram, yeah. So the FNM as the organization have built thousands of homes in this country, in Nassau and in the Family Island. So I just want to clarify that.
Correct that.
But yes, so the Westminster system choking the life out of our democracy was a statement that I made during, again, the time of the voting for the value-added tax, because the Prime Minister at the time, I felt, had an opportunity to decide what he would have done in the context of his parliamentarians voting against the increase in value-added tax. I am a firm believer that systems do not create people, people create systems. And so what that simply means is that we cannot be held hostage to systems that are in place. The reason we are elected and are members of parliament as legislators and lawmakers is so that we have an opportunity to right the wrong of systems that are not producing the result or the wishes of the Bahamian people. It cannot be right in the 21st century Bahamas and in 2017 at the time, and even more so today in 2025, that voting to the wishes of the people who elected you to serve gets you fired from your job. That cannot be the standard, and that cannot be the status quo. We have an opportunity as legislative to correct systems that no longer serve the wishes and the interests of the people of today's modern 21st century society. So that's what I meant when I talked about the Westminster system choking the life out of a democracy.
But, and you wouldn't believe it, that's a second one that you begin to champion, that I say the Westminster system has lived as you know, has lived its time. It's run its course. I mean, I said over and over, how is it that we wouldn't try to implement or create or establish a hybrid system where we use the good practices from the Westminster system and create some good practices from the Republic system,
correct,
in the United States, and create our own system that will work for the times that we are in.
Yes.
Why? I mean, why are we afraid of change? We know that this system isn't working. This system is not working. When you could elect a person who don't live around you, and then you have to be living in the area, and you in order for you to be able to vote for them, but they don't have to live where you live, and they can represent you. They can go down to assembly and vote on something on your behalf when they don't consult you. This system ain't working.
Absolutely.
This system is not working.
Absolutely.
And for years I taught the same concept. How is it? Why are we comfortable? Why are we not rowing and protesting for change in the system? And just going on there for as a person just to understand that things will not change in this country until the people rise up against it. You understand? Listen to me. A gentleman was convicted for raping his two daughters. Two twin, I think 2 years old or 1 year old or something, right? I think he had 5 years. It's no outcry. It's no out voice. It's no members of parliament should stop the House debate to find out why is that happening. How is that can happen in 2025? Not a member, not a woman in the House Assembly, not one. Usually women grab mantles like that and champion causes like that. When you could rape a 5-year-old and get 2 years, And then nobody crying, it's no outbursts, no, they protesting, rather get put out of assembly. Everybody else got their mouth full and they're just chewing. And it's like, and the opposition, those two particular matters was a prize, it's a prize rest in their hand, the opposition hand. And either the opposition don't know what to do, or they either lost, or they don't understand. Listen, I never been to something, I was elected, I never run for nothing, and I was elected. And I'm aware of a provision in the House Assembly where members of Parliament, where it's stated that it's something called a private members bill, where you don't have to be the government to bring the bill. So if something is wrong in the country, bring a bill to try correct it. You might get all the votes. Because see, if Free National Movement only have maybe what, 4 or 5 or 6 members of Parliament, 7 votes in total, right?
6 now.
6 now, right? Or 6. Bring the bill. You bring the bill. You can't beat the government because the government get what, 35 or 34 or 33. So don't worry about that. But you bring the bill. Bring a proper prepared bill that makes sense, that could work if it is implemented into law to solve some of the problems that the people face in this country. There's something called the Private Members Bill, and it was done before you. I don't know if you heard about a bill that the former member of Parliament from Marathon, Arlington SPB Allen, right? He brought a bill, and it was seconded by Dr. Matthew Rose, right? The former member of Parliament for the Grove, but it was called the Grove. I think it's called
St. Cecilia.
No, it was in St. Cecilia at the time then. But anyhow, it's the St. Cecilia area. Dr. Matthew Rose, he was a member of Parliament for that area, and he seconded the bill, and the bill was debated. The bill was debated in the House Assembly, and for an hour and a half, and the members of Parliament requested a secret vote, right? Because they didn't want the constituents to find out where they vote. And every member of Parliament that voted for that bill that the former member for Marathon brought, every member voted yes in 1989. Every member voted yes. And it was a private members bill. It was not a bill that was brought by the government. So it could be done. So when the opposition leader, right, ran and rearing who inside the Coke House and all, listen, he could use this opportunity that is allotted to him by the Constitution and bring private members bill. If the people see that you bringing a bill, right, showing the people that you ready to govern, but you bringing a bill that will benefit me as a Bahamian, you don't think I can support you? You don't think I could use that as a leverage to say, see ya, when we got bill to deal with this crime bullet, we got bill to hang murderers, we got to bring a bill, and then if it don't vote and go past, then the people see them voting against someone who's better than me. If it's a bill for the payments to eliminate a problem, why the opposition ain't bringing it? The opposition can't just keep on saying, oh, we in the government, oh, we in power, but when we get in power, no, my people, listen, they gotta try change their way of they operate because there are provisions to allow you to bring something that makes sense. You can't just keep on saying, where have you been? Or when you come to the government. No! Bring the bill now! You understand? Because you as the government and you want to do some things. You want to do the freedom, you want to install the Freedom of Information Act. You as the government, you want to implement income tax. Income tax, you take a vote on income tax right now in the Bahamas. And people, the Bahamians will go for it because why? Income tax is a balanced tax. The more you make, the more you pay. When you bring what is a poor people tax? What is consumer tax? Because everything you buy and eat, you gotta live. You gotta pay for. You gotta pay. But if I'm making more money, if I'm making $20,000 more a month, I pay more. If I'm making only $600 or $300 a week, $200 a week, I pay less. So why wouldn't we want? Why they don't want to bring things to the people that will help them understand how we feel? People ain't want to build try to make woman go and man bathroom. No, people ain't into that. When they bring them kind of thing, they clowning. People want you to bring things that will change some things in this country that ain't working. You understand what I'm saying?
I fully get you and I appreciate what you're saying, and I can say that the FNM have on many an occasion under Michael Pintard brought varying recommendations to this in my view failed PLP government.
But you said,
The-
hold on now, wait a minute, Mr. Robinson. You said recommendation.
Well-
I'm telling you, private member bill, you know the private member bill mean that the government have to vote yes or no to that.
If I may,
Okay.
you're absolutely correct.
Okay.
We have brought through what we have authority over, which is the Public Accounts Committee. Many members of the varying government agencies to the Public Accounts Committee, Michael Pinta that is, and held them accountable. That is why we can tell you that in the Ministry of Housing, there was $20 million borrowed illegally by the then Minister of Housing, of which they are still on the ropes for. That is why we could tell you that they are not following the Public Procurement Act, and there are millions and millions of contracts out there that are not put to tender, that are out there floating, that we're asking the government to come clean on. So it's not that the opposition is not doing its job; it's certainly doing its job. What you would find, now is, as we continue to hold the government feet to account, particularly in this political climate, people are wanting more action by the day, and the FNM has been doing that. We've appeared in front of government ministries protesting when it came to the immigration matter. We were in the front of immigration protesting. That is how Keith Bell is no longer the Minister of Immigration today, because the FNM took the fight to the Ministry of Immigration. We demanded his removal, and the pressure applied on the Prime Minister, Philip Davis, caused him to do an entire cabinet shuffle. So the FNM is moving. We understand that we work for the Bahamian people, and I have every confidence that the Bahamian people will give us the opportunity to continue to work for them after this next
I
election.
say this to you. So, I mean, I put some questions in a different manner. Based on your statement just now, I mean, you seem to be very confident and the things you are doing. So are you satisfied with the state of affairs that the opposition in this country is operating?
The opposition under Michael Pintard is fighting every day for the Bahamian people. We are bringing these issues to bear. We are talking about these issues every single day. You can pick up the newspaper on any given day and see any member of the opposition inside there in the newspapers, on the radios, on the televisions, talking about issues that are confronting the Bahamian people today.
That's what I'm saying to you. Are you satisfied
The-
in the manner that the opposition is being led and run? You personally feel, in your humble opinion, that the opposition is doing the best that they can do. They're doing a great job, and the way they're conducting the affairs of the people as being the official opposition will propel them to be the government.
I think the real question here is, are the Bahamian people satisfied with the job of the Progressive Liberal
No,
Party?
you'll find it after the election.
Right,
6 o'clock.
but you could talk to any given person today on the streets and in their homes, as I and a number of my colleagues are doing as we knock door to door. And I can tell you the streets are crying. People out there are concerned. The cost of living in this country are killing the average Bahamian. Just we're in the fresh into the back to school period. You know me, thousands of parents have been struggling between buying new school uniforms and paying the skyrocketing cost of electricity. It's a real matter. And trying to provide lunch and giving lunch money to their children in addition to all of their other responsibilities. The realities in this country is reaching a breaking point. Bahamians want real relief, and they want governments that address their real economic concerns.
Do you believe that some of the decisions that were made during the 2017 to 2021, do you think that have a great effect on the level of cost in this country as a result of some decisions that were made during the Hubert Alexander Minutes administration?
Well, governments are continuous,
Right.
because I wouldn't say it had any bearing. I would say that it's a continuous form of government, because the same can be said that the Perry Christie administration, of which Minutes took over from, their reality had bearing on Minutes' government.
But
And
no,
it's a continuation.
But to stop you in the track there, when the former Prime Minister, Right Honorable Perry Gladstone Christie during the election, half of them accuse him that they can't find the Watt money and this and that. When they win, they say, oh yeah, the Watt money right now.
It is up for the government to be able to articulate to the Bahamian people how they are spending and managing the Bahamian people money. If the then Perry Christie administration could not articulate to the Bahamian people where the money was, that is their dilemma and their burden to bear. When we take office, we went on a hunt to ensure that we could find where the Bahamian people money went.
And they came back and said they find it.
When it was revealed that a number of the funds were stored up in different accounts on layaway, that was a concern. So while it is acknowledged that the monies were there, the monies were also not where they were supposed to be in the correct accounts.
Yeah.
Right? The
Well,
money
that's
was
why
there.
you're right.
Right. So when you do the research and you look into it, you can find that different ministries had different budget line items, and we had to collectively pull it all together to identify where the monies were. So in context, what I am saying is that the Bahamian people today, in 2025, September, today 10th or 11th, I believe, they're concerned about their issues. High cost of living. BPL is a killer. It has been killing. The Brad Philip Davis promise and Jobert Kobe Davis promise that your electricity bills will be lower. It is double and 3 times what they projected it would have been. When the FNM was in power, we had in place a program called the hedging program, right? The fuel hedging program. And what that simply meant was that as the price of fuel went up in the international market, it didn't matter to us because we locked in a commitment that we will purchase the fuel at $3 a gallon. So if it escalated to $10 a gallon in the international market, that's $7 we saved because we had a hedging program in place. The PLP came in under Philip Davis,
Right
and they
honorable,
canceled
the
Right Honorable Philip Edward Davis. He canceled the fuel hedging program.
He said y'all didn't pay it.
No, it didn't.
If I remember, hold on. If my mind served me correctly, I could be wrong. I said it just to protect what I'm going to say. If my mind served me correctly, I think he said that the money, you all set up this hedging fund, but you all never paid the money.
No, that's
I may be wrong.
Yeah, that's incorrect because the way the hedging program goes, you lock yourself into the agreement and pay up front. So a significant.
But if you listen now, listen what you're saying now.
Uh-huh.
If you lock yourself into the agreement for the hedging program and you pay up front, what's the difference chances that you don't pay?
Right. So what happened was they canceled the deal. So
But you can't do to the money. You never get
so
money back.
monies were lost. Yes, that is
You
correct.
lost money?
Yes, monies were lost
I gotta
because they
check that.
canceled the fuel
I
hedging
gotta investigate
program.
that because that's how.
And then this is plain fact. It's out there. Check the Nassau Guardian, the Tribune. It's all there, right? So the point I'm making is we had a program in place. Electricity and the cost of light was lower under the FNM administration. That's pure facts.
Yeah.
Today it is. Come on.
So the FNM did something. The FNM did something to force down the price of electricity, and they said,
Our program, our fuel hedging program worked.
no, the hedging program will only stabilize the cost. That you don't go no higher when it go in the market go up higher, but it doesn't bring it down.
But what it is equal to, if you maintain where you are, it is almost as equal as not coming down because when you look at the market keep going up.
So the market fluctuate,
right,
but
so if
at
you
one time
hold
when you was
steady-
are you aware that at one time when you was in power, the market was below, I think it was below what, $38 per barrel. It's negative.
Right, so my point is
That's the time when you were supposed to hedge.
no.
Oh, you didn't know that?
So, no, but my point is because we ought to give credit where credit is due.
But that's credit.
We had the program, the hedging program in place. Light was lower, electricity was lower, and Bahamian people benefit. That's not the reality today. Matter of fact, if you look at the Family Island, they can't keep the light on in Eleuthera, Exuma,
Because
Long
the
Island,
generators that they heard that the
place.
FNM buy was wrong.
That's
No?
that's not
No? Okay.
no because
So they buy the right generator.
because even if if that was the case, if I give you the benefit of the doubt and I say that was the case, this is a government who have been in office for 4 years.
But they can't keep on buying generators if the F&M.
My point is, if you're saying that it's the F&M fault, then my
No, I didn't
point
say
is,
it's their fault. I never said that.
Right,
I
so-
said if the PLB inherit the wrong generators that F&M bought, you
Which is
expect me to go
incorrect.
buy more generators in 4 years?
which is incorrect, because those generators today, thankfully we bought those generators, because that is today what they're now relying on.
But if they rely on you saying that the power can't stay on?
My point is this: they have not done any real advancement or progression within the electricity and modernizing the cost of electricity.
Well, I'll challenge you on that.
They
I
have
went to
put-
Record Island, Mr. Robertson. I went to Record Island. And you could hear a frog crowing, croaking, whatever it is to, in Record Island. Record Island is 100% solar.
Do you realize that that is a program of the Minutes administration?
Oh,
We instituted the solar plant on
In
Rhode
Rhode
Island.
Island?
Yes, sir.
but you say they wasn't
We
giving
did
that on.
it. They just simply came and cut it on. That was there. Similar with the cruise port that was built.
Oh, the
under
cruise port is a
United-
bad
the
deal.
Anglo-
No, you don't go down that road.
No,
That's
no.
a bad deal. That was the devil.
That does not hold up. That does not hold up to the results today. We have
What
broken
is-
because of the cruise
You take a
port.
break, take a break.
Because of the cruise port, we have broken record in cruise arrivals in this country. So much so that the current minister of tourism today is bragging about the results that that current cruise port right now
I
is
tell you,
bringing. They
cruise-
now reach
We
11
can deal with that.
million visitors.
I will deal with the cruise port right now, right after the break. We'll take our second and final commercial break. It's Primetime with Independent Thinker. My name is Martin Owen Johnson, aka Independent Thinker. Introduced me as a former member of Parliament of Bain Grandstand, Mr. Travis Robertson. I need to bring up the cruise port. I will deal with that right after the break. Right after the break. Virtual Love 97 is Primetime with Independent Thinker. My name is Martin Owen Johnson, aka Independent Thinker. Introduce me. Man, listen, this young politician, he's sharp. He's sharp, but boy, I have to put some on him. I have to put some on him because he tried to put one on me. No. That cruise port, my brother, it's a bad deal. Let me tell you why I say that. Prince George Dock was built by the former Prime Minister, the late, great Sir Lyndon Oscar Billy. That's when Prince George Dock is down. The cruise port, holding, what's the cruise port name now? Global Holding.
Global ports.
They ain't building nothing out there. They extend a pier on the outer. Listen, man. I live out there every day. Wait, I said captain. I said tug captain. Listen to me. I like tug his past Prince George Dock every day. Listen to me. I can tell you now. They extend the dock, the northern pier. They extend that out a little further. They put up some piers and extend. They extend the dock, They extend a walking pier to the pillars with a tide rope on. They raise over, by my mind, survey records, they give you so much conflicting information, wouldn't give you the correct information if you don't know information out. They raise some $300 million locally. Or more. Locally, in the local market. They had to bring no money up. They listen, that was a bad deal. They have a clause in the agreement where they own 49%. The government own 49%, and the government own the Bahamian people, not the government. The Bahamian people that own 100% with the great late Sir Lyndon Oscar Pillen bill. the company with Bill Prince George talk Balfour BD. Global Holdings ain't Bill Prince George talk. Listen, man, hold on, man, because you made a statement, I gotta correct that. Because persons who listen to this show, they know for 14 years I try my best to tell the truth. I ain't gonna lie on the F&M, I ain't gonna lie on the PLP, and I ain't gonna lie on the DNA. Listen to me. Global Holdings extend two of the pair, the northern one and the middle one. They extended where you could hold two ships on the pier, and you could hold, and they dredge. They had a dredging done where you could have bigger ships. They had some ships building at the time, Utopia of the Seas, Sovereign of the Seas, some of them RCL cruise line. RCL, I think it's RLC or RCL cruise line. They were building some mega ships, some Symphony of the Seas and stuff like that. And they had the channel, they had the turning basin and a dredge out, right? Would cost the American people some $60 million, right? Listen to me. No. The dredger is the former Prime Minister right on you like John England. I mean,
dredged the harbor in 2007.
All right then, that's the former Prime Minister. I didn't tie in the wrong thing. Hold on, let me finish. I give you talk right now. They raise on the local stock market. I never seen this before. I mean, well, expect this. They raise the money locally. I mean, they ain't bring no money. Plus, they raised money to do the job. Plus, they was given 49% ownership or rights to ownership or rights to the monetary funds that they make. 49%. You know what they do? You know the F&M do 2%? They created a Y Foundation that was never tabled out 70 years yet. I ain't heard it yet. Where the money for the 2% going? Who was the account going on? Who's in charge of the account? When will the baby people know where this money is for the Y2 Foundation? Is it operable? Is the baby people getting it? Who's managing the funds that they're collecting? Is the government getting their 49% on this? Someone don't bring up the port. That was a bad deal.
Tinker, I respect your view.
Yes, sir.
And your
You respect the facts.
These are the facts as I know.
Okay, go ahead.
I served as the parliamentary secretary in tourism. I sat at the table when the deals were being made. And the reality
was the right place that you don't do.
The reality is
Yes.
the entire Woods Rogers Wharf was demolished in its entirety.
No, sir. I guarantee you that. No, sir. They take off. No. I'm not gonna. I can't allow you to say something that ain't exactly like it. I ain't say you wrong. I ain't say you lie.
I was on the deal. I was on the project.
I hear you. That's what happened.
So let's.
No, that's what happened. No, man. No, we can't pass that. That's what happened, Mr. Robertson. They changed the surface. The surface on top. I was there, man.
The entire thing, there were parking in the, when we call parking, when we stock in the ground because they had to extend all the way out.
No, they extend the pier, man. I go take picture and bring back and show you,
Okay, so where I think we have differences of views and realities on this situation. I think you and I.
View is the facts.
I'm giving you the facts as I know it.
Okay,
You're giving
go ahead.
me the facts.
You give me the facts like how they're supposed to do it. Go ahead. But they didn't do that.
I can tell you from my experience, having worked on the program and was there, and the YES Foundation of what you're referring
The
to.
Y Foundation, yeah.
Is the YES because it's Youth Education and Sports. That's what the 2% was allocated.
So I correct it.
Yes, you are correct with the 2%.
Go ahead.
And it was allocated for those programs today.
And the money's going on that account.
Yes,
Has it been tabled in assembly?
That all of that was already in the bill. The bill that was presented and passed included all of that. So it wasn't a separate amendment.
No, I never said it's a separate amendment. I just said that they ended up with 49%, the main people ended up with 49%.
But let's also not reveal that to be ownership of the port as if it's now it's a lease. It's not. The Bahamian people still own the port. We are the owners of that port today. They are leasing for that duration. I stand to be corrected, but I believe it's like 25 years or something to that effect until
so their lease will give them 49% of the value of whatever they make. Is that correct?
Thereabout. No, that's not. It's not percentage of the value they make.
So what the 49% they have? What's that?
That is obviously for the partners and all of the investors, etc. Because the government has the next percentage. But I don't want to get deeper into the details because I don't want to muddy the water for persons who is just hearing it for the first time. But the point I'm making here, because I don't want us to get lost in the point. The point of this is the F&M remodeled the cruise port. That cruise port could have only handled about, I think it was like up to 6 ships at a time thereabout. Today, because of the work we have done, that port now is able to accommodate, I think it's up to now 9 cruise ships at the same time. That was a massive expansion and accommodation. The ability to do that now has reaped economic benefits for our country beyond most expectation. So much so, as I mentioned, 2019, we broke record under the F&M with 7 million visitors. Today, because of the completion of that project, we now broke record at 11 million visitors. This same administration, Chester Cooper, the Honorable Chester Cooper, Minister of Tourism, he brags today about the result that the cruise port is having for tourism in this country. So much so, because of the work of the F&M and the cruise port, that stopover visitors are obviously increased. Now, while we increase in in cruise visitors, stopover visitors has now declined by a whopping 4.6% decline, while cruise visitors went up. And so the reality is now we have a responsibility as a government, and I say we because while I am an F&M, I am a Bahamian first. And contrary to popular belief, I want to see the government do well. Because when the government does well, all Bahamians do well. And that is what we should be aiming towards for this common loftier goal that we talk about. What we are saying is that this government, the PLP government, is not focused. They're not focused on running and managing the affairs of this country. They are flying left, right, and center Monday through Monday.
No, they couldn't fly. The F&M always had an attitude for generations that this one and the PLP can't fly. This one,
and
so the PLP flying now.
We maintain that.
So like cheating now. They said they fly too much now. But I don't get distracted. Let me tell you this. I got to end this thing on the cruise port.
Yes.
Right? Global Holdings Inc. extend the dock. The dock was built by Balfour Beatty under the Great Lakes Cylinder Oscar building. Balfour Beatty built that in 1980, I think in 83 or 80, around the 80s anyhow. Global Holdings extend the pier that you walk out to the bullet. They put down plenty of those pipes in the ground and then pour them with concrete and put some bullets out there so that bigger ships could reach further to put their ropes to hold them in the port. That's what he did on 2 of the docks. The one on the northern end, they put one on the western end and on the eastern end, or the northern dock. The middle dock, they extend the one on the western side. They don't have no extension on the eastern side of that one. They only did 3 extensions. This means they only resurfaced the top of the dock. They take up all the tar. I must admit they did that. They take up all the tar and they place it with those pretty concrete block stones like. They put some shared fuel and lights and things shared, but they get $300 million from Bahamians in this country that they raised on the stock market, right? They ain't had to bring no money.
But you
right? They have hold on. They have the tugboat, but it's still here, right? Tied by 7 shipyard with a barge. They putting on some more pylons. They putting on some more. I watched them last week. They putting on some more pylons again to must give more space for yachts. Because the cruise ship can't get around to the back there anyhow. So it can't be for cruise ship. So they put them down for yachts, maybe mega yachts or something. They don't in the back there. But listen, they can't be people for a ride. I tell you that. Trust me. Because guess what? The baby really don't be paying that tug, but still here. But been the doctor finished the resurfacing for the $300 million or $400 or $500 million that people spend. That resurfacing and finished. People need to know how much we paying for the people who still here from Turkey. Understand? So listen, when it comes to that dock, that was a bad deal. I know the Great Lakes a little building with a place so grand. See, if the global deal is so good, it's supposed to be the deal that Pillen had here. You know the deal with Pillen had here? When the ship reached by the opening coming inside the harbor, all shops closed, all casinos closed, all restaurants closed. That's the deal. The deal, man, the shops have never closed on these cruise ship. The casino always open. The restaurant always open. So what do people get to give away 49% of the cruise port value for 25 years, the global, when the cruise ship them still can open up the casino, they don't have to close. They don't have to, when the Great Lakes and Linden Pillen was in control of this country, every single restaurant had to close before the ship entered the harbor. Every casino had to close. Every shop had to close. Every restaurant had to close. That's good deal. What do you say?
Tinker, I hear, obviously I see that this is a matter that is personal to you.
No, man, you know, man, you want to talk about Tango? You want to talk about the Senator Tango? So don't boy, listen. Ain't that personal to me?
No, I'm just saying, if I may, you're very passionate about this subject.
I'm passionate about the things, the decisions that Bahamians are affected in this country.
If I may, let me
Yes,
just
sir.
say for the record that is still a requirement today under law today, that cruise ship, those stores are to be closed. Now, it's a question.
No, sir. The
that
Free
is
National
still-
Movement under you, but
that
I
is
done.
still
No.
the law today.
No, Mr.
Today.
Thomas said no,
So,
man.
but you know what? We could go on and on about this subject, but there are so many other subjects, just like this one, that in my view grinds the gears of the Bahamian people.
Right.
And crime is
And that's
one
one
of them as
right.
well.
Crime is one of them.
Is one of them.
Yeah.
And so we know that
We talked
in
about
this
crime at the beginning of the show. Where a
Yeah.
person got in jail for 2 years, and the opposition even grabbed that opportunity to show that they are against and they hate that what's happening to young people, the children, and the opportunity should there for them to
that's
take the
incorrect.
opportunity and they show that they
That is
they show that
incorrect.
they ain't prepared. Listen to me, man. Just listen to me. They show that the Free National Movement isn't prepared to govern. They ain't grasping that opportunity.
That's incorrect.
I thought it's a perfect opportunity for the FNM, the opposition, to show.
The
See that?
FNM
See the PLB doing nothing but us? We'll show you how to do it.
The FNM has had many town halls on that. The FNM has been to every what the Prime Minister a couple of months ago had what he called a crime symposium. Invited the opposition, church leaders, etc. Everybody to give their input on the direction that we are to go
With
for
crime.
crime in this country.
And the PLB saying that you all thieving the ideas? I see that in the members last week.
And
That I think it's the Prime Minister who warned the FNM that you all must stop taking the ideas and trying to put it in your book.
Tinker,
Are you wrong?
if I may, Philip Davis, obviously.
No, Philip, the right honorable.
Philip is his name. I mean, that's
No,
we're not.
you
the
gotta
honorable-
hold on now. You
Yeah.
gotta hold on now.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying. I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything.
But you gotta
I'm
say the
talking-
right honorable. He's the Prime Minister.
Yeah, the honorable Philip
Brave
Davis.
Davis, yeah.
Yes, Davis. The honorable Philip Davis has said many a things. What we also know to be the case is, if you're talking about streamlining or stemming the rise of crime in this country, there are some policies that work. So is one implying that if we're saying increase the amount of resources to the Royal Bahamas Police Force, that's part of the strategy that will help to fight crime. So if the FNM plan have that and the PLP plan have that, then we realize that that is one common pillar that works. So it's not a bad thing that two persons or two parties' plan reflect aspects of their plan reflect similarity. That means that both are going down the correct road, and where there are similarities, we bridge the gap on that. We share it with that. It's not a matter of who plan is better than the next. It's a matter of executing so that we bring down the fear of crime and crime in this country, because Bahamians just want to feel safe. That's the point at the end of the day.
So what you're saying now is the
Bahamians
FNM
just want to feel
the
safe
FNM is dropping
in
one
their
of their
country.
key plans in crime, where they had stated that they were planning to bring gang leaders together at CID and let them negotiate and transfer the people. You all abandoning that plan.
On what grounds? Where did we abandon
That's what the FNM stated between 2017 and 2021. That
No,
they were
but
going to bring
see,
gang leaders
Where did we
together.
abandon that principle? Where did we abandon? We didn't abandon.
But I ain't seen that your next plan.
No, that's incorrect. What you saw was a proposal to address those pressing issues concerning crime today, and that does exist in the 10-point plan.
That's the one right there? Bring the gang leaders together?
That exists. It's not it doesn't specifically say bring the gang leaders together, but it talks about partnership and collaboration and strategic communications with individuals who are involved and known to the police force.
Well, you need to come
So,
run inside English, man. You do
thing
good
is,
things.
No, but
Because
this
the
is,
FNM just take the nomination back because if you go down against the boss, that's a hard one. I want you to come in Engliston so I can champion with you and help you.
the
Come in
thing is,
Engliston.
Tinker, here's the reality. And focus
Let's
on
put
the
someone
Bahamian-
Glenn on about menu.
we are focused
can't
on
be
the
together.
Bahamian people.
I'll help you.
And for me, the FNM under Michael Pentard is saying to the Bahamian people everywhere, we work for you. We know who our bosses are.
No, but see, baby,
And,
listen to that no more. See,
yeah,
social media
that's fine.
causing social media causing politics to turn a page in this country, and some politicians ain't get it yet. Either they ain't check their inbox or something. Listen to me. Them days gone, but them days gone where you could just say what we can do. No. You gotta start showing your ability now.
Not we have started many work now, even as it relates to crime. You have seen we have a program under Michael Pendal launched a program in the FNM called Each One Reach One. We have went through community after community in big numbers, talking with people in the
Look
community.
at my area yet. I ain't you know.
we have been
I in the
in
heart of the belly of the beach where you reject.
We've been in Baintown, we've been in Yellow Elder, we've been in Angliston, we've been in Camp Road,
Well, you in my area.
today.
How come I see you there?
Now you was probably on the radio when we was out there.
I only come on the radio once a week, 7:30 to 9 on Thursday night.
And it was that one day you missing. So
But listen, you need to come. Listen, how hard is it for me to get you to leave Mount Fort Charlotte? Because man, that can be a hard Fort
Let
fight.
me
If
tell
the
you.
boss get that nomination, that can be a hard Fort fight. So I want you coming to Engliston.
Let me tell
so
you,
I can
I
walk with you and campaign with the people who I live around to help you. You be good number bottom for Engliston.
I am signed, sealed, and delivered in Fort Charlotte.
Oh, so you got
the
more.
people in Fort Charlotte love me, and I love the people of Fort Charlotte.
So you ain't
and
done-
we will do great work
So you
together.
don't think when you could win up inside there? You don't think when you do a great job?
I invite you to work along with my dynamic colleague, Heather McDonald, who is the ratified.
Who running inside and battles?
No, Heather McDonald. She's
Running inside and battles?
Angliston. She's ratified for Angliston. She's a brilliant.
I in St. Barnabas. They
Oh,
cut
I
the
thought you said
boundaries.
you were in
Listen to me.
Angliston.
No, I tell you, I live in Angliston all my life.
Okay.
But they cut the boundaries to my corner and put. I have two houses on rent across the road. They put them in Angliston.
Okay.
And I cross the road directly from the house, and they put me inside St. Barnabas.
Well,
They
well,
cut-
I invite you to work with our ratified candidate at the time.
Who's ratified? I got to
No,
get for
that's
St.
what I'm
Barnabas.
saying. Though, at the point that we appoint them.
So Shannon don't got ready to come back?
I never said that.
Well,
I
you
said
sure?
we have to ratify. Once we do the official ratification for St. Barnabas, I invite you to work with the
You know,
FNM
Shannon
candidate.
Shannon don't Cartwright. You've been during the time and the great view of the present Prime Minister, Mr. Brian Davis. So if he's been doing a good time, he's a good guy, right?
Absolutely.
So if you all don't run him, tell Shannon don't come to the DNA with us. No, we laughing like that, serious.
Shannon Owen Cartwright.
So you all sound like you're gonna kick him with the body soon.
No, sir. The Honorable Shannon Owen Cartwright is our deputy leader. He enjoys the support of our leader, Michael Pentard. And
Miyagi.
enjoys, Miyagi, that's his street name.
Yeah,
And
you
he
know what?
enjoys
That's me.
all of our support, and we are happy to have him on board. He
So you all ain't
knows the
turning him off no
streets.
more. You're keeping
It's
him
not
aside.
who we are going to overthrow is this failed PLD government. And so, as we continue to work, I invite all members under the sound of my voice.
Yes, sir.
Look at the policies of the FNM, look at the policies
You have
of the
policies on now?
PLP. We've been releasing policies.
Let me tell you what I can do.
We've released the Operation Shield on immigration. We now released the 10-point plan on crime, and we have a number of policies that are coming in the coming days. We released the Project Fair Play that speaks to young people and their empowerment in the public service, and the list goes on.
Man, listen,
We
you well prepared.
understand that we work for the Bahamian
Listen to me.
people,
Listen,
and
Mr.
our policies
Mr.
are
Robinson.
reflective of the fact that we work for you.
Mr. Robinson, you well prepared. And listen to me. You and Mr. Henfield, Darren Henfield, very talented. You're all in the wrong party, bro. No, you laughing. Listen to me. You able to defend and not only sensibly, but honestly and confident enough to say some things that you had other members of parliament they never come and say. Right? You say you're a part of the good negotiation, and you said some things to show that you are well informed. And it's just a good thing. I don't know if you're well read or you're doing your research, but you're well prepared. I must tell you that you need to come join us in the DNA. Trust me.
The DNA, I didn't even know that still existed. But listen, I want you though. I want you and the DNA and the rest of them come join us in join us in the afternoon as we fight.
Y'all did some cardinal sins in the FNM did some cardinal sins. Right? I ain't give you the whole 180. I give you about 2 or 3. When you all support the sale of a telco, that's a sin that Bahamians got in their soul that they hate. Listen to me, remember I tell you this. And you had members of parliament who was in the FNM cabinet who said all sorts of things trying to justify, to support a bad deal. 326-8255, we only got 13 more minutes. 326-8255, 322-3633, 322-3633, 326-825-22. No, 8255. 326-8255 and 322-3633. Give me a call. Gonna be a part of the conversation in the last few minutes with my special guest and good guest.
So I think in these last few minutes,
Yes,
I just want to say that the Bahamian people, this right now, we're in September, the first week, students are going back to school. And it is a real concern for us in the FNM and for Bahamians at large, the readiness and the preparation of these schools. We have to get to a point in this country where we do not continue to mark time on the progress of preparation for schools. No, it cannot be correct that yet again you have schools that do not have principals right now. You have teachers, administrators, that's vice principals and senior masters, who have been sitting out of school because agreements and commitments made in their negotiation have not been met. And you have students sitting in classrooms today in our public system where teachers are vacant, and you have multiple teachers who are dueling and trying to substitute in vacant rooms. That cannot be our standard today.
I'll tell you
and
this.
so we are calling upon the PLP to fix this problem and fix it now. Our children deserve better. This cannot be our education system. The FNM have a plan to fix the system, and when the Bahamian people give us an opportunity, we will prove every day that we work for them, and we will roll out a system that Bahamians
I give you 2 days. I give you 2 days on the education system. I give you one, but a former FNM Minister of Education, I tell you what last. But I tell you this: how long does it take for a student to become a teacher in college?
4 years, bachelor's degree.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right now, you think if the FNM in 2017 had launched a program to encourage and given concessions and incentives to get Bahamians to be drawn towards teaching, you think from 2017 to 2021, 4 years, if them put out a program to deal with the education system, you don't think those teachers would have been sufficient now in the schools? We would have been out the weekend spots?
We did.
So where the teachers them going?
We did. Here's what happened. The PLP, they've been in power for 4 years. It seems that some people refuse to acknowledge that. 4 years. Do you know the amount of students, young teachers that have left the education profession because they do not see a way up? They're being stifled. They can't get their letters. Just the other day, a couple of months ago, teachers were protesting. New teachers were protesting, and the teachers, BUT were protesting because teachers who we have a shortage of couldn't get confirmation letters. Letters.
Make sure now, the point that I asked you this question, so you're saying...
Similarly with the nurses. Nurses, how much times we had nurses out there protesting, trying to get their confirmation letters, and we have nurses leaving the country left, right, and center, simply off of confirmation letters. The Minister of Public Service, Pia Glover, the Honorable Pia Glover, came out the other day. She acknowledged the backlog, said that they're working on it, and it continues to be an issue. So it's not something I am just assuming.
Let me tell you this, right? See, like how you begin the show, you said governments are successive.
Yes.
As I said to you, if in 2017, y'all tell you got the answer right now for some of the problems in education. If you all had start a enrollment process for teachers, you think we'd have this sorted in 2025?
My point to you, as I said, we did. That program yield results. So much so, we went a step further. we increased the allowance for teachers that's going on the family islands because the family islands had a shortage. We gone as far back as recruitment. We said, okay, if you're coming from a family island, particularly you're in teaching, you're going to study to be a teacher, a nurse, etc. You know what we did? We give you housing allowance. Today, students studying at the University of the Bahamas from the family island, they now enjoy full housing paid for. A program put in place by the F&M government. We went further. We made the University of the Bahamas free of charge to all Bahamian students. Today they benefit from that. So we made significant steps as an F&M government to ensure that we systematically bridge the gap where the vacancies and deficiencies exist in our system, so that we could have a 21st century Bahamas that can withhold the bandwidth of new students coming into the classrooms.
Was the $500,000 given to one of the kids of the former Minister of Education under the FNM?
I don't understand your question.
On research of hurricanes. Did that happen under the FNM?
To my knowledge, I know nothing of that. I cannot speak to that.
$500,000 was given to one of the kids of a former Minister of Education. I was asked to do research on hurricane. Maybe you don't know about hurricane. Hurricanes come here every time. I was asking you if that happened because you said about these good policies in education.
Correct.
Right. And I was trying to bring some of the things that happened under the FNM. So if that was a good policy, that's all that.
So I don't have facts about what you speak. But however, in the scenario you make, whether it was an F&M minister or a PLP minister or a DNA minister, it didn't matter.
Oh, no.
What you said just now was for research of hurricane.
Really? Nobody was saying 500,000? Did you use the 500,000 to better the conditions of organizing? All right, I'm in the effort. Hold on,
we exist. Our geographic location is in a hurricane belt.
Right.
There are very little issues that we could invest monies in that will trump research in hurricane and climate change. We know that climate change is an existential threat to the livelihood of the entire archipelago.
Yes, sir.
So we should continue and promote research in climate change and in
climate change. No, they didn't do climate change. Hurricane was sick.
That is the same thing.
$500,000.
Climate change, they all fall within the disaster.
But I think that alone is cronyism. But listen, I don't leave that alone. Because that's only $500. I'm saying this. I'll tell you this. Under the Free National Movement, they met a policy in place where members of parliament is to get an allowance for their constituency. The Free National Movement put it where the allowance go directly to the member of parliament account. Is that correct?
Incorrect.
So
incorrect. It has always been. It doesn't go to the member of parliament account.
Okay, let's go.
The check goes in the name of the member elected to the Honorable House of Assembly. No. And that,
so who gets the check?
That didn't just happen yesterday.
No, I never said happened yesterday. That happened on the pin that happened on the minutes. But I'm asking you.
Not on the minutes. Yeah. That was in place from Lyndon Pinland. That has never changed. No one has changed the system.
Listen to me. If you was a member, if I Travis Robinson as a member of parliament,
yes.
What name does the check go in?
It goes into the member of the person elected as member of
so
parliament.
If Travis Robinson is a member of parliament for being a grandson, the check goes in who name?
The person elected by the people.
And I'm saying to you, if Travis Robinson,
I gave you my answer. It goes in the person elected.
Who casts the checks? The person who's elected.
The responsibility of the person who elected. Yes.
So why would then you think that should change?
My point is, whether it should change, that is a question and a reality. That this current government has now implemented a parliamentary commission, and I'm sure that will be one of the things on the agenda that they will.
So you think that should change? You don't think it should go? Do you think it should go? Stays like how Dr. Minnis had it in the name of the member of parliament?
That is incorrect. I don't wish for you to say how Dr. Minnis had it because he never touched it.
And he never changed it.
Like
and he never changed it.
And this current government.
No, I'm saying, I know, but I'm saying
no, but don't hold the FNM responsible for things
for not changing it.
No.
You had 4 years to change it.
And the PLP have 4 years to change it. Have they changed it? So why are you only blaming the
Mark,
FNM?
listen, hold on.
Why are you only pointing finger at the FNM?
I can tell you right now
Let's
why.
say no government.
I
Don't
will
just
tell you.
point finger at the FNM. That's not.
Mr. Robinson, listen to me. When you go to college, when you was in college just now, you are a pilot now.
Yeah.
When you went to school, did they mark your paper when you reach the class, or they mark your paper after the course?
When you turn in your assignment.
Right. The PLP is doing their assignment now, so they will be graded on election day.
Right.
Their papers will be marked based on the decisions they make.
Yeah.
The FNM really did their coursework and turned in their papers. That's why their papers should be marked. So it shouldn't be a problem. You don't mark the PLB paper now. You mark the PLB paper time election. They have plenty of time to fix some things. They have plenty of time to change some things.
But
it's the same way that the FNM had plenty of time to change some things during the 4 years there's a power. Is that correct?
you realize that if you're using the analogy of semester and marking paper, what you're talking about is equivalent of being in the fall semester of college and you're referring to the spring semester grades. The FNM is the spring semester that then passed.
Oh, so
we was evaluated.
So what you're saying is don't grade the FNM on the decisions that they made against the BM people. Don't grade them on that.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the judgment has already been rendered. The FNM is no longer the government.
That's it?
Today.
No more punishment for them?
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
The verdict has been rendered under that administration. The FNM have come back. We're under new leadership. Michael Clifton Pintard is the leader. You cannot judge Michael Pintard off of the record of Hubert Minnis. You have to give him a fair opportunity.
Oh, I give him a fair opportunity.
So that he can.
I think he's a brilliant behavior.
Yes, so he is presenting.
And Dr. Minnis talk very good of him, you know. I could play a tape next week, right? I supposed to have in studio the former minister, Honorable Renwood Wells, right? He's supposed to be in the studio next week. I gotta play a song by next week where Dr. Minnis talked about Michael C. Pintard. He talked very well of Michael
And
Pintard.
at no time has Michael Pintard spoken ill of Hubert Minnis.
No, I never said that.
Okay.
I never said that.
So,
You never
so
hear me
I'm
say
just,
that.
no, I'm just saying.
I'm saying how good Dr. Minnis talked with him.
Yes, so
Right.
and I'm
I'm
saying.
gonna play that song by the
and I'm
people can
saying-
understand that Dr. Minnis is in a very peculiar position. He's in, you know, because he talked so well of Michael Pintard. So he cannot, it's hard for him to say now that, boy, you know, this ain't right, what he doing to me. Because when you listen to when I play that song like next week, then you'll understand that, hey, boy, you got 2 more minutes. Let's wrap up. Listen, I'm gonna play that. But I'm gonna tell you something about education. I gotta tell you this. Some years ago, I had a former Minister of Education from the Free Nation Board on my show. And we began the show by I asked him how would he categorize the state of affairs of the educational system. Call on the line. Primetime independent thinker.
Independent thinker.
You're live.
You're live. Listen to me. I had to call back. I dozed off and I had to call right back. Let me tell you. Now, listen to this scenario. If Minnis wins.
No, Minnis will win.
If Minnis wins in Kalani.
He will win in Kalani.
The FNM get beat.
Minnis will win in Kalani. I tell you that tonight.
Hold on. If the FNM wins, Minnis get beat.
No, Minnis will get beat if the FNM win. But Minnis will win in Kalani. I guarantee you that.
The FNM and Minnis can't win.
My brother, I have no prediction on the FNM because I don't only some of those candidates it appears that some of those candidates the PLB picked them for them. But I know what I'm talking about. I'm saying that Minnis will win Kalani.
Okay, okay. So Minnis wins Kalani. The FNM lose the election.
But I ain't getting in that. You that's your prediction.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask Mr. Robinson a quick question.
Yes, sir.
In your last roll-off, you named 7 candidates.
Yes, sir.
I can say you. Name me 2. I can give you a bonus. I can say you because you want the show. Name me 2 that you think could win. Any 2 could win if the election was called tomorrow.
The FNM
They'll
has
be the same candidates. The PLB have right now without changing candidates.
All right, caller, because we flat on the time.
Thank you. The FNM has ratified 24 dynamic candidates in its totality so far, and I beckon that all 24 so far will win this.
I can tell you 2 of them will lose right now.
I stand on that. All 24 that we have ratified will win because we are not doing this for us. We're not talking about ourselves. We're talking about the issues that concern the Bahamian people. We're talking about agenda that we will work for the Bahamian people on every day when we're in office. And I can tell you that when Michael Clifton Pintard is elected as next Prime Minister after this general election, we will begin to see this country continue to move to even greater heights than it exists today.
I'll give you one who will win. Dr. Fox will win and Foxen.
I agree with
right?
you.
No, I'm telling you.
I agree
Dr.
with you.
Fox will win. Dr. Minnis will win.
The
Listen to me.
F&M candidate
No,
will win in
listen.
Kalani.
Listen to me.
Michaela Barnett Ellis is an
She ain't got
outstanding
a-
young
she might
lady.
even get a deposit
She
back.
have
Hey,
a record, a
listen,
track record
remember
that
I-
she stands
remember
on.
I telling you this.
The F&M stand wholeheartedly behind
Yeah,
Michaela
they
Barnett
stand behind
Ellis.
Lennon.
She's
How they
the
cheat Dr.
next
Minister? How they cheat
member of
Dr. Minister?
Parliament for Kalani, and she will go in resoundingly. Her win will be significant, and the results, I am of no doubt.
Listen to me now.
No doubt that
Okay.
her victory margin will be resounding, and it will tell a story.
All right, Dr. Fox will win in Fox Hill. Dr. Minnis will win in Kalani, right? Michael Folks will lose. Marvin Dames, the drone specialist, will lose.
I
He will
disagree
lose.
on all of it.
'Cause
I
you can't
disagree.
spend all $17 million on drones and then you buy, they're supposed to be 400 feet cord
That's
and you come
disingenuous.
60 feet cord.
No.
No, man.
That's incorrect.
Drone would put the land on the boat that they need grass. You know, grass you on the boat.
That's incorrect.
What incorrect?
The 17
No. I had the Minister of National Security here and he said those things. I don't know what I repeat.
Minister of National Security, if they would be, if this is the case, if they are talking about the $17 million drone
Yeah.
and Marvin Deems, why hasn't Marvin Deems been called before the courts today?
No, you know what I'm saying? What
see,
should be charged in an application?
So
But we
this
just
is
saying
my
that the
point.
wrong drones,
So
the wrong
people are
drones
being
were purchased or the wrong drones were delivered.
And so you blame the minister who is the policy maker? You have
The policy maker who's the one who's the one responsible for the
So-
Ministry of National Security. Where we all the time. You need to come
Right,
back, man.
right.
Listen,
So my
I know
point
the two
is-
things you need to do. Come
my
back.
point is
And I want you to bring.
that if
when you
it
come
is the
back.
case,
Yeah.
Marvin Deems have a track record of and his reputation is above reproach.
Ain't no one trying.
His
I
reputation
will
is above
never
reproach.
ever check his
And
reputation.
the $17
I don't
million
get personal.
one that is a propaganda of the PLP.
No,
and
sir.
Marvin Deems will win in Mount
No, he can
Moriah,
lose. I
and
tell you
we
that.
will see the benefit. The people in Mount Moriah will
Robinson,
be happy
Robinson,
with
you
Marvin
tell- you
Deems,
more attack than
and
that
the
talk.
FNM will become the next government of the Commonwealth of
FNM will
Bahamas.
become next government. I hear you, sir.
FNM.
I hear you.
Michael Pintar
I will
and
tell
the
you all
FNM
now.
will win
Don't
the
waste no
next
money.
general election.
Don't waste no money in Marvin Deems. Don't waste
Marvin
no.
Deems don't
Why
need
you listen,
money on the
man?
ground.
I'm saying don't
He
waste.
has knocked
He
on
will
doors.
lose.
He has talked to the people. They are proud to see him, and
God,
he
Robert.
is one of those persons we stand behind wholeheartedly. And we are now taking the message of prosperity, abundance to the Bahamian people, and we are addressing their issues one by one. We will get rid of this failed PLP government.
And whatever you want to say to the constituents of Fort Charlotte, go ahead.
So let
Allow
me
you
just
a free plug.
let me just let,
You're a
let me
great guest.
Let me just thank the industrious people of Fort Charlotte. You have welcomed me over the past 3 years into your homes. I've sat with many of you, ate out of your pot, drink your hot tea, and I'm so proud to been officially nominated to represent you. I've heard your stories. I've heard your cries. All of the challenges we discuss on making Fort Charlotte better, we will implement. We have a bold agenda for 10 years in Fort Charlotte. We talk about a bold agenda for environment, for crime, for entrepreneurship, for the senior citizens, for young people, and the list goes on. I look forward to bringing that bold agenda to your door, and I look forward to speaking with you more on the plan on how we're going to move Fort Charlotte forward with the FNM
Before I
next
end,
government.
so it's part of the plan bringing local government to Fort Charlotte where the money wouldn't have to go to the MP who was elected name. It'll go to an account set up in Fort Charlotte for the constituents of Fort Charlotte. Is that part of the plan?
Here's part of my plan for Fort Charlotte. Every constituency allowance that I get for Fort Charlotte will go into the constituency account.
No, I want to go directly to the account. I want
let
to
me-
come
let
from
me finish.
Ghana.
Let me finish. It will go to the constituency account, which will be public and transparent to all of the associations that exist within Fort Charlotte. So the Crime Watch Community Association in Fort Charlotte, they will get their budget. The neighborhood watches in Fort Charlotte, they will get their budget. The church youth groups and everybody who are doing civic work and community work within Fort Charlotte will get their piece of the budget that is allocated for Fort Charlotte. We're going to build
You need to
Fort
come
Charlotte
to the
back.
Anderson.
We're
I
going to
thought all
turn
the
Fort
time.
Charlotte into a model constituency that
Perfect.
every constituency would like to emulate.
Okay, that's a good. I like how you end on that show. That's the last word. And I say this. I hope you could accept an invitation to come back because you seems to be one of the most talented, along with Darren Enfield, one of the most talented candidate that they ever come up. And you could bring one or two of the other side who just know the politics. Bring them when you come in so they can see your reaction and your passion, feel your passion, and how you explain. Maybe I might not agree with some things you say, but how you explain the way forward in the freelancing movement and your party. Bring one or two of them when you come in again, and who knew the politics and who unable to come by themselves Bring them so they can understand and see how you scared. Cause you must tell you, I gotta give you, you're great.
Thank you, baby.
Tonight show,
Thank you for
tonight
your
show was brought to you by Prime. Listen, I was here another hour and a half, man. And you all the time. I'll end the show by a quote for the great Dates and then Oscar Pillen. If Bahamians aren't prepared to stand up and fight and defend their own Bahamas, then they don't deserve to have it. Good night, Bahamas.